She's saying, I want the Democrats to lose, which is why I am voting for Donald Trump. That's what she's saying. She's like, I don't think Trump is going to be better on this issue. The only thing I know is that Donald Trump is currently not president and not doing the. Anyway, let's get back to the Arab Americans in Michigan.
Of State and Defense suggest U.S. military aid could be in jeopardy if there is no improvement in the next 30 days. Well, we are exactly 3 weeks to go until America picks its next president. And one of Michigan's key voting blocks, and Michigan is a key swing state, one of the key blocks there is the Arab American community, and they could potentially help decide the outcome of the election in this state. Just this week, two prominent Arab American groups there made an unprecedented announcement that they won't be endorsing either candidate for president. Michigan, worth 15 electoral votes, as I say, is considered a crucial battleground. Trump won there in 2016, but in 2020, the Great Lakes state went blue, with Biden claiming victory. But the numbers were tiny. My next guest is an Arab American and community organizer from Dearborn, Michigan, which has one of the highest concentrations of Muslim residents in the US. Samra Lukman says that she's a lifelong Democrat who has endorsed Donald Trump, saying this: believe him or not, if there is a 99% chance that Trump is going to continue that, and I have to weigh that against the 100% chance that it's going to continue under Harris, I'm going to take the 99% chance. Well, Samra Lukman is joining me now, and it's good to have you. Thank you very much indeed. Your position, I think, is so important as our viewers around the world get to grips with what is going to happen in the States some 3 weeks from now. Before we talk about the position that you've had and the post that I've just read out from you, and we've had some breaking news in the past hour or so. It's good to have you on because I think your perspective here is important. The Biden administration has, we have just learnt, sent a letter to the Israeli government demanding that it act to improve the humanitarian situation within the next 30 days or risk US laws governing foreign military assistance, which is effectively suggesting US military aid to Israel could be in jeopardy.
What this statement is, the 100% versus 99%, despite the fact that Trump has said he's going to finish the job, Miriam Adelson has given him $100 million so far, is the implication that the Biden administration is currently single-handedly responsible for it. And while the likelihood is that Trump will also continue doing the same exact, he's not currently responsible for it. That's the calculation that these people are making.
What's your response to that?
Well, I mean, first of all, we've heard a lot of lip service from the Biden administration. So a lot of the things that are stated have not been followed through, or in actuality, the opposite has been done. So, for example, saying that you want to ceasefire but continuing to send military aid, or saying that you may withhold it in the future but continuing to send it as we speak, is really hypocritical, and the community really sees right through that. And then, you know, on another note, the issue of the election for me and many other voters is not what Biden could potentially do at this point. It's a little bit too little too late. We want accountability. We do not forgive him.
Like, I don't care. Like, I don't agree, okay? But I'm not going to spend a whole bit of time criticizing this person, because how can I, when the Democratic Party has been like, yeah, you, what am I supposed to say? You know, what am I supposed to say? I hate Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is going to somehow figure out a way to be even worse than the Biden administration, but the Biden administration is committing the unimaginable. Once you've greenlit over and over again, that's it. You've maxed out. You've maxed out. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do for these people? Ironically enough, maybe now that they're saying they're going to vote for Trump, Kamala Harris will listen to them because they love Trump supporters. The Democratic Party loves Trump supporters. So maybe they will finally listen to these people now that they think that they are Trump supporters, you know?
For the of over 200,000 civilians. So there is absolutely nothing that Biden can do short of pulling a Jesus that could make us come back to the Democratic Party for the presidential.
I'm fascinated to hear this. Can I just ask you, do you dismiss outright the efforts that the Biden administration certainly has been promoting in trying to get a ceasefire sorted for? I mean, I'm talking since November. I've been on that story. The first ceasefire was a temporary, albeit temporary, relief. But the efforts have been going on behind the scenes since then to get a ceasefire, a more than temporary ceasefire. Have you just simply not bought those arguments, that effort?
Well, I mean, yeah, and so historically, I've seen Reagan end a conflict with Israel and Lebanon with just one phone call. And I know that our president can do more and is capable of having that power and sway to do more. So I don't buy the lip service. I don't buy the crumbs of a temporary ceasefire here and there. And all the while, as they're continuing to send aid that is literally, we are watching people, there is just nothing that he could potentially say that would make me believe that he's incapable of having called for a ceasefire by now if he had really actually wanted one.
Right. And I know that you're referring to images on social media that are horrific to see, and they are widely circulated these days. It is an out-and-out catastrophe. You talk about 99% certainty of what Trump will do. We've heard him talk about wanting the Israelis to finish the job, just get it done. When you talk about a 99%, sort of possibility of knowing what he is up to, doesn't it worry you when you consider voting for Donald Trump and you hear his message on and to Israel at this point?
I've heard many things come out of his mouth that were contradictory, and right now we haven't gotten any specific policies, but he has stated that he wanted to stop the war. Now, what I can say is that with 100% certainty, had this been occurring under the Trump's presidency, we would have seen Democrats stand up and find their moral compass as they did when he moved the embassy. You had over 50 Democrats, I believe, that stood up and said, this is wrong. However, with the duopoly and the nature of politics in this country, because it is a Democratic president, you're never going to have Democrats step up, especially during an election year, and say, what is he's doing is wrong. So even if Trump was to do exactly the same thing that Biden is doing, I have a little bit of hope that perhaps Democrats would find their moral compass and stand up and say that, we would need a ceasefire by now. With certainty, I imagine they would have called for it by now had it been under Trump. So that's one thing. On the other note, Trump, as we know, is a wild card. And we've seen even after, the end of his prior presidency that he soured on Biden. And I can only hope.
I love that the Democrats have given yet another opportunity for Donald Trump to come across as like potentially a peaceful dove with their conduct, and also the wild card. Like, Trump was the president for 4 years. We know what he's going to do. There is no wild card element here. The reason why October 7 happened is because of that Trump did and that Biden did not reverse. This is cries of desperation from people that have understandably been cast aside by the Democratic administration. That's it.
That due to some personality conflict or serendipitously, he solves the crisis in the Middle East. My only goal is to ensure that people are held accountable for it and that it sends a message to him and any other subsequent president that you will not be if you do what.
It won't. Democrats will never learn the lesson. That's why I don't spend a whole lot of time being like, you're going to be able to punish the Democrats. You're not. You can only shame someone that has the capacity to feel shame. Democrats don't.
What Biden has done. And that is something that I think he is a political animal.
I'm not even kidding, though. Like, the fact that people are coming out and being like, I'm pro-Trump, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, could potentially cause the Democrats to be like, oh, no, maybe we need to win their votes now that they're Trump supporters. Democrats have one speed. They only care about Trump supporters. So now these people are like, we're Trump supporters. We love Donald Trump. Maybe that'll cause the Democrats to listen. I don't know.
I'm sure he will see that message as well.
And for our viewers' sake, you've written, and I quote you here, there is no greater insult to me, a Muslim Yemeni American woman, or to my community, than to assume we do not understand the ramifications of a second Trump presidency. Two Arab American organizations, though, have decided not to endorse either candidate at this point. Last time, as I understand it, back in 2020, you wrote in Bernie Sanders in the 2020 election. There's a possibility of doing that again, given the risks of a Trump presidency, but you've decided not to do that. Can I just ask you why?
Yes, because I follow the polls closely, and with the numbers as they are, if the election were held today with Harris leading in Michigan and Trump, trailing about 3 to 4 points on average, you have about.
She's like, I'm not wasting my vote on a third party. She's like, I'm voting for Trump. She's like, sorry, it's not. This is not time. This is not time to waste our vote for third party candidates. Okay, I'm going for Donald Trump. Sorry.
About 6% of voters who are voting for other. And if the election were held today, Harris would win. I can't have that. I made the political calculation that I need to vote for Trump, whether I like it or not, in order to effectuate accountability for the. And so that is why I am now not writing in anything. I'm not voting for third party, albeit I do agree with a lot of the other third party candidates, including in my policies and the things that I'm fighting for, even actively to this day. It is a political calculation that I'm making, and it is strictly mathematical in order to ensure, again, accountability for the lives lost.
They will not learn the lesson. Just letting y'all know. Been there, done that. Not going to happen.
And you are a one-issue voter in 2024, are you?
I think that even if you were to weigh all the domestic policies, the value of human life to me is.
Wait, what do you think she thinks Trump's going to do? No, she's just saying, like, I think you guys are not understanding what she's saying. She's saying, I want the Democrats to lose, which is why I am voting for Donald Trump. That's what she's saying. She's like, I don't think Trump is going to be better on this issue. The only thing I know is that Donald Trump is currently not president and not doing the. He's saying, I'm looking at this, and my number one issue is that I don't agree in terms of like Donald Trump being better. But I don't even think that that's what she's saying anyway. She's saying, I'm not even wasting my vote on a third party. I'm not doing a protest vote for a third party. I'm saying this is specifically about punishing the Democrats for doing a. Come on, bro. Okay. Her main issue is the Kamala Harris is a way better shot at stopping than Trump. I don't agree with this person. But let me tell you, I don't agree with you either. Okay. You are hallucinating an alternative reality when you say Kamala Harris is a way better. Like, what do you mean? She's the vice president right now. Joe Biden is the president right now. She's running for the presidential election. She's the presidential candidate. What are we doing? Why are we hallucinating a different reality? No, both parties are maxed out on the Trump will do plus, but it's still, that's it. Bouncing on my boy's cockmala. I think it's crazy. If you are to make an argument like, oh, well, Trump's going to be worse on domestic policies. Sure, there's like a couple different places where you can say that in terms of like Kamala Harris will not do a national abortion ban. The Democrats won't do that yet. Maybe down the line, who knows? But like, you are literally hallucinating. You are hallucinating. The DNC straight up gave no opportunities for even those who would do outreach in these communities to say like, see, they'll be better. You are trying to outflank the DNC. The DNC has said, we're going to win this race without you. You guys can complain about it here on Twitch, but that's not what the DNC is saying. The DNC's made it very clear. The Democratic Party has made it very clear. We don't even want your votes, they said. It's not that we're taking your votes for granted. We don't want your votes. What do you want people to respond to that with? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Should I vote for Trump? No. Don't be an idiot. Vote for whoever the f you want, as long as it's not Donald Trump. That's why I'm riding with Biden, baby. I'm riding in Joseph Robinette Brandon. This is not even like don't make perfect the enemy of the good. Like, you can't even make the same arguments that liberals used to make about immigrants. Oh, I guess you don't care about the immigrants, sweetie. It's like, yeah, you know who also doesn't care about the immigrants? The Democratic Party. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to be making any sort of advocacy in these fields when the Democratic Party's communication on the matter is literally, nah, we want to do like two. We just want to like make it, I guess, like more processed and streamlined. Whereas the Republicans don't want to do that. They're standing in the way of progress in terms of building the wall.
Outweighs everything. It outweighs women's rights, student debt elimination, economy, healthcare, everything that I love and espouse and have fought for all my life. When I put that against human life, it's nothing. It outweighs everything. And so you can call it a one-issue voter. I think that humanity and life is more important than any other issue. So I will choose life over everything else. And if that's a one-issue voter, then so be it.
Former President Trump also in Pennsylvania last night, making his pitch to voters.
I'm not kidding. I wonder if like this would have been better if they started doing this earlier, the method a little bit. Because like Democrats love Republicans, dude. They love Republicans. Bro, maybe if someone was like, oh, I'm a registered Republican, I love Republican Party. Like maybe the Democrats would be like, oh my God, we have to win these Republicans over. Are you planning to vote for Kamala? Get the out of here. Okay, bud. Kamala was Charlemagne the God.
Listen, we got 20 days and 60 minutes, so we just need to get to it.
I'm with you. Although it's 21 days.
How are you? Because you did just walk in. You was kind of late, so.
Well, I try to be on time.
Well,
apparently I'm 40 seconds late. You're right.
Well, you are black, so okay. Now you know one thing they've been saying. A lot of your press hits get criticized. You know,
this was aired on CNN, MSNBC. Damn, they are doing a full court press. Dude.
Folks say you come off as very scripted. They say you like to stick to your talking points, and some media says you have.
That would be called disciplined.
Oh, okay. Speak to that.
But go on.
No, I was going to say some people.
I just caught up with the stream and you were wrong about Sharia. Praying 5 times a day is Sharia. Fasting is Sharia. Going to the mosque is Sharia. Giving alms is Sharia. The punishment aspect of Sharia is a very small part of the legal system and is rarely ever implemented in the Islamic world historically. There's a massive misunderstanding by you and others of Islamic jurisprudence. Yes, because I'm not talking to other Muslims. And even if I was, I would, in a private correspondence with other Muslims, I would probably still tell them, I don't really give out any of those things and the enforcement should never exist. I, of course, believe in, secular democracy. But beyond that, I'm talking to Americans. They think Sharia means strapping you to your chest and saying, Allahu Akbar. Okay? So they think Sharia means like women's hands off or something.
People say you have an inability to fearlessly say who you are and what you believe. I know that's not true. But what do you say to that criticism? And is it fair for SNL to make fun of it?
Hasn't Maya Rudolph been wonderful?
Yes.
I think I have nothing but admiration for the comedy, and I think it's important to be able to laugh at yourself and each other.
But what do you say people
in the spirit of obviously comedy and not belittling people as my opponent would do.
But what do you...
I mean, technically, Sharia's hands off. Steal your hands. If you steal, your hand gets off under Sharia. Yeah, there is literally no like coherent Islamic perspective on this matter. Okay, you are hyper focusing on the most right-wing interpretation. That's it. Holy.
But what do you say to people who say you stay on the talking points?
I would say you're welcome. I mean, listen. Here's the thing. I love having conversations, which is why I'm so happy to be with you this afternoon. And the reality is that there are...
That's so funny. It's not a right-wing interpretation. It's written as it is. That's so cool. That's why literally people don't mix fabrics in the Christian world, even though it's written as it is. All matter of religious doctrine is subject to interpretation, okay? Don't be an idiot. What the fuck are you talking about? Y'all are so... only Muslims are incapable of interpreting whatever like the approach is to religion, to Islam. You know, this guy has expanded on Islam. He's saying people in different Middle Eastern countries have had their hand out. It is an interpretation that's followed in lots of Middle Eastern nations. Arc to Freedom, 38-month subscriber. People in different Middle Eastern countries have had their hand off for stealing, not recognizing that I am literally from a 99% Muslim nation. Okay. Shut the up. This is not correct. Okay? You are wrong. Reddit should be illegal is the best take you could ever arrive at. I swear to God, there is literally nothing more annoying than having to talk to Redditors primed with like the most insane levels of... It's like, you don't understand, dude. If you steal anything in a Muslim country, they will your hand off. Reddit induced such a real thing. What's worse, Reddit or Twitter? When it comes to, I think Reddit and Twitter have the exact same approach. That's how bad it is on Reddit. Francisco Franco and the Latin American liberation theologists both base their political thought from Catholicism. Is such a way of thinking about things. I know. That's why when I make sure they will be able to recover. Yeah. That chatter right there is the kind of dude who makes people start eating their lunch in their cars because they ruin break time by talking about Singapore sniping you for farting in the daytime or something. That's the annoying coworker, dude. Yeah. Classic coworker conversation. Oh, did you know that they take your hand off in every Muslim country in the region? Mohammed Reza says, I literally live under a Muslim theocracy and no one's hand ever got chopped off here. What the f*** is he talking about? I'll have you know, sir, that man is armed, okay, and equipped with all the knowledge that Reddit gave him. It's not Islamophobic. You don't want to discuss reality. In Saudi Arabia, that is the law. Yeah, Saudi Arabia, the beacon of Islam. I know the Mecca is there. I know the Kaaba is there. And yet, for some weird reason, the entirety of the damn near all of the regional actors don't share the same perspective. It's not Islamophobic. You don't want to discuss reality. This is a real thing in Saudi Arabia. That is the law. I know, dude. Yeah, Saudi Arabia, the beacon of the way that Islamic rule operates. That's how, yeah. That's how it works. Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, Algeria, Morocco, 1 billion Muslims, 1 billion hands. Why? Because the other hand got chopped off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ian Miles Chong. I don't know if you noticed, but Turkey's a secular nation run by an Islamist right now. Notice how I gave you multiple countries that are predominantly Muslim and you only chose to talk about Turkey? There are problems with right-wing fundamentalists in all of these countries. If you point to Saudi Arabia, their people's hands off, I don't know what to tell you. It's like pointing to ISIS and being like, you don't understand. Every Muslim loves ISIS. There are 22 Arab countries. Americans literally think most of them are the Taliban because Afghanistan totally in the Middle East. Yeah. In Southeast nations that you mentioned, they still incorporate brutal corporal punishment. Also a bad comparison. Damn, that's crazy. In the United States of America, the beacon of prosperity, the state, a black man that they knew full well was innocent, like literally last week. The f*** do you mean, dude? Like, what are you talking about? We literally have 25% of the entire world's incarcerated population can legally be as a vehicle for punishment, written in the 13th Amendment. We have our justice system that has legalized and streamlined this process. Oh, we're talking about Middle East right now. Dude, my bad, bro. I know a lot of these Gulf states also practice too, for the record. Seems like you only got the smoke for Islamic Sharia law. We live in the United States of America. The United States of America finds Saudi Arabia, the one country that you could mention in terms of like people's hands off, which I don't even know how popular this practice is in Saudi Arabia, but is the ally to the United States of America. Every other Muslim nation, predominantly Muslim nation that I brought up, you did not have that same argument for. So then you had to resort to corporal punishment, which exists here as well. Cap, born and raised in Saudi, and I can tell you hands are being chopped off. I don't know. I don't know enough about Saudi Arabia's current practices. Not, I promise, they're dude, Cap, take up my hand off. I had to write this with one hand. Not, thanks, Ireno. Not chopped. Yeah. Ian Miles Chong literally typing with one hand lately. Christian Uganda gives a penalty for homosexuality. Will Chatter say many Christian countries do that? Ask him, lol. Yeah, I mean, Christian Uganda gives the penalty for homosexuality literally because of American evangelicals. We talked about this earlier. Like, we literally just covered this. American evangelicals lobbied the government. Yeah. Okay, we're talking about the Middle East. Hey, Chatter, you got more cool stuff that we haven't heard in here? Like, go talk to any Arab or any Muslim person about what they think of Saudi Arabia or what they think about their own forms of governance, and you will understand that they have the exact same opinions as you do. There's that they like, and there's a lot of that they don't like, okay? But when you decide that all Arabs or all Muslims are a certain way and everyone is following Sharia law to a T, and then you can only point to Saudi Arabia, okay? Why do you hate Trump? He's so nice. I love Trump. Trump will be like Reagan in regards to Israel. I love Trump. Donald Trump is better. Trump will actually get the Israelis to rein it in. Vote for Donald Trump. Yo soy votar por Donald Trump. Vote for Donald Trump. Wasn't pro-life so joyous and adventurous during his administration? Vote for Trump. And then he moved on to, I mean, Sharia technically is off. If you steal your hand, it gets off under Sharia. To which I responded with, the interpretation of religious law is not so black and white as you claim it is. So then I gave him a bunch of examples of Arab and predominantly Muslim countries that are not Arab in the region. And he was like, oh, well, they do corporal punishment there. Well, turns out corporal punishment is legal in schools in 19 states. Not that it fucking matters. Because like I said, the better example is that America, people that they know are innocent regardless. This guy also stopped responding after a bunch of people were like, I live in Saudi Arabia. I've never heard of anybody getting their hands chopped. What the fuck is this? Like, yeah, Saudi Arabia until recently also didn't let women drive. You think that's the case in like every Muslim country? You loser, you goddamn. Saudi Arabia, by the way, #1 ally to America after Israel. The last time a man's hand was caught by Saudi authorities was in December 2013, the only one on record for last year. The kingdom follows a narrow interpretation of Islamic law. Muslim scholars generally agree that severe punishment should not be carried out on a person who steals due to hunger and poverty. Why is this guy shutting the fuck up? I want to hear more from him. Why do Americans think we just go around everything we see? Because they're literally baboon-brained idiots, okay? That's it. They think that if they present a false narrative about how of the people that are supposed to be servile and dominated by America are somehow dehumanized barbarians, then they can feel comfortable with their own barbarity. They can be like, oh, well, we do this, but at least we're not chopping people's off. Well, I guess we do that. It's called circumcision. Plus, so does the Muslim world, to be fair. Message, a relevant quote from Columbia's Middle Eastern Studies. The holies of Islamic militants and agendas of the USA are far more intertwined than either would lead on. As a rule, the more closely a government is allied with Washington, the more Islamic its politics. Egypt under Nasser, Republic in Iraq, the Palestine National Movement, post-independence Algeria, the Republic of South Yemen, Ba'ath Syria, all charted courses independent of the U.S. In contrast, those governments dependent on the U.S. typically claimed an Islamic authority. And the real reason for this, by the way, the real reason why this exists is because Americans, the State Department specifically figured out during the Pan-Arabic nationalist movements that were happening when nation states were being built and designed, that a lot of them, what you also said, the U.S. engages in corporal punishment like the SCA Muslim countries, but that's not true. The U.S. doesn't care, doesn't cane women for adultery. Yeah, the United States women for getting ectopic pregnancies, a practice that is completely legal in the Islamic world. Shut up! Sometimes pregnancies are a sentence for a lot of women in this goddamn country. Some of the worst outcomes overall for maternal care and maternal mortality in all of the OECD nations. Okay? Guess what? In Turkey and in many other countries, you can get government-sponsored abortions. Suck my... This is the reason why I say you're being Islamophobic. We're not talking about the U.S. right now, is what you might say. I don't think you can get an abortion in Muslim countries that aren't Turkey. Yes, you can. Why? Now, no. You can, but it doesn't matter. Hold on. Ask yourself why you think that. Examine. Scratch the surface. Ask yourself why you think that. Where did you figure this reality out? Ask yourself why you think that. You can get abortions in Tunisia. It was the first Muslim country to legalize abortion in 1973. Why do you think that you cannot get an abortion in Muslim countries that aren't Turkey? Also, have you noticed how you're talking about Muslim countries and then you're turning around and going, some Muslim countries, but not the majority, allow abortions? Notice how there is not a monolithic understanding or a direct interpretation of Sharia, which, by the way, if they were following Sharia, they would allow abortions regardless because it's not illegal under Islam. Islam seemingly more flexible on the issue of abortion than evangelicals in America. What are you doing here, March? Egypt Penal Code bans abortion in all circumstances, but the law allows flexibility on the grounds of necessity. Physicians rely on that principle to justify performing an abortion when they believe the mother's life or health is in danger in case of a fetal abnormality. Committee of physicians must agree that abortion is acceptable within the confines of law. Iran, abortion has been illegal in Iran since 1979 Islamic Revolution. Although there are no explicit exceptions to this prohibition, Iranian law generally allows acts that are performed to save the life of a person. That's because Islam is evil and abortion is evil too. You can get an abortion in Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, and this is not just in North Africa. Yeah. Ugh. In 2005, the Iranian parliament passed a measure allowing abortions within the first 4 months of pregnancy in case of fetal impairment that would result in economic burden. The measure was ultimately blocked by the RGC. Abortion is banned in some states in the USA, so what's his point? He doesn't have a point. His point is that these guys are barbaric. Conservatives hate other countries. Your only criticism is on being Islamophobic. I'm literally not trying to be. I'm just trying to be objective. I don't hate Muslims at all. Countries have laws like the ones previously mentioned, and I wanted to state that as a fact. I didn't state my opinion on their laws either. Dog, if you think that there is a strict interpretation of Sharia that requires people, that requires Muslim nations to cut the hands of people willy-nilly for the crime of theft, and then the only one you can point to is Saudi Arabia, which apparently stopped the practice since 2013. But like the only one that, even if they were doing it today, every single day, if you like, you obviously have a lot of hangups about the way that the Islamic world exists. That thing about the RGC is total, that law in 2005 passed. That's the point. The point is you don't know what you're talking about, and you think you are pointing to objective facts when you're not. If that was the case, you literally would not have come in hot with this whole, it's literally not Islamophobic. Technically, Sharia, technically, Sharia is cutting a hand off. If you steal, your hand gets cut off under Sharia. It's the interpretation that's followed in lots of Middle Eastern nations. Lots. Why am I entertaining this donkey, dude? Okay. Yeah. Arming. Oh. The entire point is, the reason why that chatter is wrong, like completely, is because in his mind, the entire Islamic world is one way. Okay. That's it. That's just pure Islamophobia, which is another word for when you make these idiotic, assumptions across the board for the entirety of a region. Well, not only are you an ass, but in this case, most likely a hateful ass. And the massery continues to varying degree.
Certain things that must be repeated to ensure that I have everyone know what I stand for and the issues that I think are at stake in this election. Mm-hmm. And so it requires repetition. You know, some people say that until someone has heard the same thing at least 3 times.
Those laws are cartoonishly hard to prove on purpose. We literally have Ottoman papers documents something like adultery, capital punishment happened one time in 500 years, and even then the scholars protested. This barbarian propaganda existed since the Crusades. Love throwing that at us, even though they thought the fucking earth was at the center of the world and burned people alive for disagreeing. Yeah.
Times, it just doesn't stay with you. So repetition is important. And for that reason, yes, at my rallies, I say the same thing when I go to Detroit as I do in Philly, as I do wherever I am, to make sure that people hear and receive what I...
You're literally getting baited every time, bro, by Bonarelli chatters talking in their discourse to get your stream off the rails. To be honest, I don't really mind having this conversation, especially at a time like this, because that sentiment might be coming from someone who's trying to troll. But I think showing how they are is good, because it is a commonly shared sentiment by many people. Islamophobia is the normative position. A lot of people personally think that like what that chatter is saying is correct. And also, that's a 38-month subscriber who's like brain broken by Islamophobia. So I'm obviously going to try to treat that a little bit differently than like some random that comes into the chat. Like, I don't expect someone who has been a 38-month subscriber, especially when like Islamophobia is something I do talk about, to have this much of a genuine disagreement.
I think are some of the most critical issues that are at stake in this election.
There has to be a high level of anxiety too when you have these conversations, though, because you are running for president.
I mean, you know what? There's certainly a lot of, I feel the weight of the moment and my role. I feel an extraordinary weight of responsibility right now to do everything I can. I'm telling you, Charlamagne, when I go to bed at night, I almost every night, in addition to my prayers, will ask, have I done everything I could do today? This is a margin of error race. It's tight. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And, you know.
Yeah. Abortion will be more lawful in Saudi Arabia and Algeria than Alabama and Georgia if the near total ban passed by their state legislatures last week makes their way to the courts. And it did. Anyway. Also, the conversation literally started with like the chatter saying they chop people's hands off in majority Muslim nations, in the majority of the nations in the region. Conservatives hate other countries for demonstrating the exact same conservatism they want here in the United States of America.
You know, what is at stake is truly profound and almost and historic, many would say. And it's about, some people would say this lofty notion of supporting and preserving our democracy. But it is about real issues that affect people every day, like whether we're going to maintain a $35 cap on insulin for our seniors, whether we're going to continue to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices to bring them down, whether we are going to have, as my opponent would have, a formalized stop and frisk policy, for which he has said if a police department does not do it, they should be defunded or not. There is so much at stake, whether America is going to stand on its principles around the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity and stand with our allies around the world, or whether we're going to admire dictators and send, during the height of COVID in the pandemic, COVID tests that nobody could get to the president of Russia for his personal use when black people were dying every day by the hundreds during that time.
Yeah, I feel like that one has gone over people's heads. The fact that he was sending COVID tests.
Charlemagne is such a lib, by the way. He's the perfect person to talk to.
I invite your listeners, the people we know, the number of people who lost their grandparents and parents. Remember what that was like during the height of COVID, and a lot of it, people were scrambling for the resources and needed tests. And Donald Trump, during that time, secretly sent COVID tests to the president of Russia, who, by the way, do not forget, in the 2016 election, because I was a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee when we investigated it.
Not one Muslim country has a full ban on abortion. That's over 50 nations. At least 15 have it fully legal upon request, and majority have some restrictions like economic, mental, or physical health of the mother or impairment of the fetus. Source, World Population Review. Yes, American states are significantly, the biggest Muslim countries are Indonesia, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh numerically. Literally, none of them have the hand-cutting laws. They have their own set, though, also unrelated to Islam. Yes. The reason why we are badgering this talking point, is because it is a very commonly shared talking point by a lot of dumbasses, okay? So if you also personally believe this in the past because you heard someone say it, ask yourself, what led you to believe that? India is a Muslim country. What? Yes, India, by simple number of Muslims living in it, while not a Muslim country, has some of the largest Muslim population on the planet. Yeah, under Sharia law, monarchical rule is not allowed. And yet, Shadows will constantly reference the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a beacon of Islam and Sharia. Seems like there is a capacity for interpretation, huh?
Targeted black voters in 2016 with mis and disinformation to discourage black people from voting in that election. And this is just another of the very many examples of who Donald Trump really is, and the danger he presents to real people.
Sending COVID tests to Russia, that doesn't sound very America first at all. But it's not just you versus Trump, it's you versus misinformation.
Yes, that's true.
Right? And one of the biggest pieces of misinformation, one of the biggest allegations against you is that you targeted and locked up thousands of black men in San Francisco for weed. Some say you did it to boost your career. Some say you did it out of pure hate for black men. Please tell us the facts. What's the facts of that situation?
It's just simply not true. And what public defenders...
She did it because they were avoiding the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. That's why she did it. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Who around those days will tell you I was the most progressive prosecutor in California on marijuana cases and would not send people to jail for simple possession of weed.
Wait, what? Why do people even have that much smoke for Saudi Arabia? Aren't they currently a democratic ally? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a democratic ally. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, I think this is like a full-grown adult that just memes about being like a Mormon teenager. Nah, I don't believe it. There is no way someone is this consistently stupid. This person is just like doing an elaborate troll. They're not democratic yet. Yet? What leads you to believe that Saudi Arabia is ever going to be a democracy? Also, you called them a democratic ally who are trying to rehabilitate themselves. No hand chopping and women can drive now. Yeah, I'm going to ban you if you don't come clean about your actual background, chatter. He's a troll. I've seen him do this in other chats. They are an ally of the USA. Yeah, we're bad. And so are they. Openly admit that you're a troll or I will ban you. No, it wasn't a New York Times journalist. It was a Washington Post journalist. The journalist they chopped up. Jamal Khashoggi, not troll. told they have been better by media recently. Why do you refuse to bring up Tunisia more when often talking about, my God, I love you, Hasan, but this is the one thing that makes me want to hit my head against the wall? I mean, because I use Turkey, and that's like the country that I know the best. Lived there for 18 years. I don't know.
And as vice president, have been a champion for bringing marijuana down on the schedule. So instead of it being ranked up there with heroin, we bring it down. And my pledge is, as president. Also,
yeah, Tunisia. Is it because we stole the Turkish flag and made it better? No, it's whack, dude. Nah, Turkish flag better, bro. What do you mean inside out? What's that about, dude? You took it and then you put it inside of a white, larger moon? Like, what the fuck is that? Look at how much more aesthetic this is as opposed to this. Genuinely huge news.
The World Liberty Financial Token Sale is now live. Crypto is the future. Let's embrace this incredible technology and lead the world in digital economy.
Oh my God. He's just trying to make money, dude. Sorry, bro. The Tunisian flag clears. That's crazy. Okay. Lots of liars in the chat. Lots of people that deserve to be banned, I think. The Turkish flag is way cleaner. The Tunisian flag looks like someone tried to draw a Turkish flag by memory and failed to do so. That's all I'm going to say.
I will work on decriminalizing it because I know exactly how those laws have been used to disproportionately impact certain populations and specifically black men.
Before we get into, the talkback feature and take some questions from the audience, I do want to talk to you about the legalization of weed because you're saying you want to legalize it now. What steps did the Biden administration take to get closer to that reality?
So we had to work with the DEA and there's a certain level.
Me struggle. Mein Kampf also means my struggle. Imagine falling for it twice. This has 10,000 likes, bro. Dude, what the is going on, dude? You know the nation is fire when they put the red star in the white circle? Yo. Okay, fair. Fair. What about this flag? Ew. At least like Muslim countries have the crescent and star, and you know what I mean? Like so many of the European flags are just so boring. It's just like, oh, look at us. It's just colors, different colors. That's why, yeah, Mexico is my goat. Western European flags, boring. I fell asleep. Turks are honorary Tunisians. When are you coming over to have Tunisian baklava? It rules. The Eureka flag is one of my favorite Aussie flag, and it's been co-opted by dumb fucks. We were such a... Crescent is Byzantine, so the only reason it's Muslim symbol is because the Ottomans. Yeah, well, look how dominant they were, you know?
Bureaucracy that exists in the federal government that slows things down, but essentially to bring down how weed is classified, how marijuana is classified, to make it classified as a lesser harm. Mm-hmm. And so that took some time. There's a whole process around that, but that's the work that we have done, in addition to work that we have done writ large on justice reform.
Okay. Let's take some calls. Let's not calls. Let's go to the talkback feature.
My question for Kamala is, why are we, and I say we because my tax dollars is sending the money, why are we sending money to other countries when we desperately need it in our own country for homeless, housing, resources, for whatever? That is my determining factor if I vote for Kamala or not.
That's one of the reasons the America First rhetoric resonates, because nobody in America would complain about where money was going if American citizens.
I think we can all agree that the best possible flag out of any nation is the flag of the People's Republic of Mozambique. Okay, that's it. And then here's the current one. They updated it a little bit and they went with this. Angola's cool too with the... But you can't beat this, dude. All right. Without all the American empire shit, how do you rate America's flag?
Needs
Trash.
were being met. So what do you say?
Nah, the American flag is decent. At least it's not just like boring colors, dude. Like I got all the smoke for the European flags. Like they're just so boring. You got to put something in it, you know? You have to put something in it. It's mid.
We can do it all, and we do. So first of all, I maintain very strongly America should never pull ourselves away from our responsibility as a world leader. And that is in the best interest of our national security and each one of us as Americans and our standing in the world.
What?
To American citizens, obviously, and people who are here to meet their everyday needs and challenges, which is why, for example, we have done the work in the last 4 years of bringing down the cost of prescription medication, whether it be $35 a month for seniors for insulin or $2,000 a year cap on prescription medication. What we have done that has been about putting $17 billion in our HBCUs. I am proud to be the first HBCU vice president of the United States. I intend to be the first HBCU president of the United States. Those resources are about sending them to centers of academic excellence that I know them to be. The work that I continue to do is about increasing access to capital for our small businesses. It is about increasing the opportunity for home ownership, knowing that black people are 40% less likely to be homeowners in America. We have a history of legal and procedural obstacles to that home ownership, starting with the fact nobody got 40 acres and a mule, to redlining, to issues that this Detroit area and people around the country know to be real. So
she's being woke. She said nobody got that's CRT, brother. Also, I don't think she answered. What was the question? I forgot what the question was.
Part of my plan is that we're going to give people a $25,000 down payment assistance to get their foot in the door to buy a home for first-time home buyers. The work that I'm going to do to increase housing supply in America, knowing that that's one of the reasons that rents and housing prices are jacked up, and to work with the private sector, cut through the red tape, and work to build more housing, 3 million before the end of my first term. And I give these examples, and there are many more which I will offer. So, for example, the work that I will do to extend the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families during the first year of their child's life. Because as you and I both know, our families all have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources. Mm-hmm. So by expanding the child tax credit to the first year of a child's life to $6,000, that gives that young family the ability to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes, the things that are so important during that critical phase of that child's development, so that they can get on the road and actually have a chance at succeeding.
You know, you said we can do it all, but can we? Because, Tupac famously said, we got money for war, but can't feed the poor, right? And
Whoa.
I saw President Obama say last week that, you really shouldn't expect, a president to rid the world of all of its problems. And so is it fair to tell people, hey, we can do it all? Because that's when people get disappointed, when things don't happen.
But I think President Obama is absolutely correct, but it doesn't mean we can't do anything.
That's right.
So when I talk about extending the child tax credit, when I was vice president, I pushed that we would do it during our first year. And we reduced black child poverty in America by 50%. We did that. Mm-hmm. We can do that. My plan that is about building up home ownership in the black community, we can do that. My work that has been about increasing access to capital, bringing billions more dollars into our community.
I think there's something very funny about seeing all the POA adjacent black content creators go right wing, and then Kamala Harris's response is we're going to protect crypto. Not addressing other reasons as to why popping off in people's lives, but specifically focusing on, I guess the reason why they're doing that is because it's 20% of young black men that have shifted over to the Republican side, and it's also 20% of black men in general that own crypto. And I'm not even kidding when I say this, and this might be anecdotal, but I feel like it's the same 20%. So maybe that was one of those campaign strategies that's hyper targeted, but kind of warranted. In their minds, they were like, what? Cutie incoming? Hello, cutie Cinderella. What's up?
Do you notice anything different about me? Oh, really?
What are you showing? What are you showing me?
You don't notice anything different?
No, I'm not even looking at what you're trying to show me because.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't see my face change?
I do see it. I see it. I just am trying to not see it.
How we phased up.
How did you get a face change before me, dude? Face banks is to me.
Oh, nah, listen. Hey, everyone will get changed one day. Yeah, you just have to put in the work like I did.
That's crazy. Well, I have my custom face banks pillow behind me, so I'll just be gripping that extra hard tonight.
Okay. All right.
I'll take the L. I'll take the L.
Does the chain look good?
I'm gonna Jason in the basketball court, just so you know.
Whoa.
Yeah. Soon.
What?
Wait, Jason, what happened? What happened? Did you end up beating Cash Nasty or what?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
destroyed him.
I don't believe you.
Jason got me Cartier.
Wait, I thought that was another girl. I thought Lacey clapped you on that two phone. Did you go and get Cutie Cinderella a Cartier bracelet after you got called out?
Called out for what?
So I posted on I baited that I was like getting this for her, but it wasn't.
But it was for me?
Yes. It was a surprise. So no.
Or you went back and you got a separate Cartier. By the way, is it real, Cutie, or is it another one of those situations?
It says Cartier on it. It's engraved. It's either real or it's good.
Is it Timu? Is it Fartier? Is it Timu Cartier?
I don't think it's Cartier.
Like
I don't know.
Van Cleef?
I can really say that it's fake.
I would. I feel bad. I don't want to know how much you spent. It's gonna make me feel bad.
I'm not. I'm just showing you the email.
Oh, he did buy it from Cartier.
That's crazy that you're showing her the email. Oh yeah, no, that's the one he actually bought for a different girl.
Oh.
Like, no, I don't have any fucking girl.
Their girl didn't show up, so you gave me the leftover. Oh.
I don't have a girl.
Oh.
Yeah, because you're too busy buying Cutie Cinderella a taken woman.
Hey, he's just
jewelry.
being nice.
I did it to show my appreciation.
You never buy me anything nice, Hasan.
That's not true. I literally do buy you nice shit. I got you that Disney bag recently. I literally buy you every time I go outside.
You do buy me a lot of things.
Yeah, what the? That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
Wow. You got Cartier? Now you're acting different.
Hey, I got Cartier. Step it up. Yeah, don't call me that.
That's my podcast co-host and a co-owner of my podcast.
Yeah, well now I'm a phase member.
Yeah, and now she's my enemy because she got a phase chain before me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Have fun, guys. I'm gonna go back to covering politics.
Yeah.
Instead
good luck.
of getting with a phase chain that I deserve.
We are going to Disneyland right now.
Oh, this is the Oogie Boogie Bash day, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, you look great.
Yeah, it looks good. Okay, I'll buy you a present.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
I'm so jealous. I'm jealous. I'm actually jealous. It's up. No clout. I know. Why aren't you going to Oogie Boogie Bash? Because I got news, man. Cartier bracelet love, $47,900. Don't call her a chip. Okay, first of all, Cutie Cinderella. I call her whatever I want. Okay. That is my podcast co-host. Did y'all decide on costumes? All that happened on the paywall was Austin's scat stories. Oh my God, that's true. We did go crazy on paywall. Last Disney stream was my fave. Saturday not going. No, we are going. She's taking Jason to Oogie Boogie Bash separately. What is this?
And unlike Hasan.
What?
What?
Cutie needs a real man?
I know she needs a real man, unlike Hasan. What?
Does
so
this
true.
person
I
think-
should totally break up with Hasan after reading that. I should
No!
totally break up with him. I've been thinking about breaking up with him, but then I saw this, and now I should definitely break up with him. Thank God. Jose the
Yote. It's over. It's done. Is the podcast a polycule now? Yes. Huge content incoming. Trump is expected to visit a Pennsylvania McDonald's on Sunday and work the fry cooker. Oh my God. Oh, dude, he's doing everything in his power to make me love him more, and it's physically impossible for me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Oh, why? I guess there is no reason to ask why. You should just go, thank you, sir. How are you going to feel when he makes a better burger than you? Chill. Yeah, he's going to finish that fry chefing thing and then turn around and say, I've done more at McDonald's than Kamala. Yeah. I've done more for McDonald's than Kamala.
At a town hall event that took an unusual turn. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran has the details. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. Donald Trump came here to the suburbs of Philadelphia, one of the critical battlegrounds in this battleground state, looking for votes. But as you say, that town hall event that he held quickly turned into something very different when the candidate...
Yeah, I don't care about the medical emergencies. Trump dances after two supporters collapsed at bizarre town hall. Wait, what?
Hey, great. We love that man. Hold it, please. A doctor, please. Doctor. Our first responders are amazing, the way they can do.
Wait, there are a thread of clips of him dancing for 30 minutes?
Nobody's leaving. What's going on? There's nobody leaving. Keep going. Keep going? Should we keep going? All right, turn that music up. Turn it up. Great song.
It goes like this, the fourth.
Wait, when you guys said that he danced for 39 minutes, I thought you were exaggerating. Explain to me. First of all, guys, for those of you who don't know, Donald Trump is a firm, committed believer in the human battery lifespan theory. What do I mean by this? Donald Trump believes that every human being has a finite amount of energy, and if they expend that entirety of it, they will, okay? He has talked about this before. So when you analyze his actions, dancing at a town hall for 39 uninterrupted minutes, you then recognize that he is literally, in his, at least in his own mind, he's putting his own lifespan out there. This is basically suicidal, this behavior. Trump doing manual labor at his hotel. Please watch the Trump Club next. He played the wrong version of Ave Maria and he was pissed.
Thank you very much. It's going to be good.
Right now, I want the Pavarotti one. Yo, that's my goat. Stop. No, dude, nothing puts a smile on my face like this monster, okay? He still got it. By God, he still got it. He is such a zesty man. Pavarotti. Unacceptable. Only one Ave Maria I will listen. Singing Ave Maria. Oh, he's so sick. Oh, he gave a kissy poo. He gave a kissy. That's probably the guy who I gave him a kiss and then he fell apart. He had the best seat in the house and now he's looking down at us from the heavens. What happened to that guy? They him, dude. Remember that guy? Remember everyone yelling at me? That guy was like woke and actually I didn't understand it because he was a MAGA communist or something. What the happened to that guy? When he said he didn't support Trump, they his whole career and family.
Wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think. Wanna know what you do. And they don't think you know, but I know that you do.
Scroll up. There are more in the video. Watch this one, please. God, he's such a queen, bro. He is queening, dude. I swear to God. Like, there are chatters who used to get mad at me when I said Trump is zesty and he is like asexual, biromantic queen. Like, please. Like, I bet you're all eating crow right now, okay? You know he is diva, okay? He is the diva king. I'm convinced that if you were like, Mr. Trump, sir, you will have the capacity to produce your own Broadway show. We're not going to give you any sort of, like, we're not going to prosecute you. You just can't be president. You will have your own Broadway show. And, you know, we'll give you a television show where you can, like, you know, explain your thoughts to the American public on a daily basis. No criminal charge whatsoever. He would drop it. He would drop out of the race. I swear to God. This man does not want to be president. This man is simply using the presidential ticket as a lifeline, okay? If you told him, instead of these sweaty, gross, HVAC business owning losers that were going to attend his crowds, he was going to have the gayest, okay? He was going to have the gayest crowds of all time slammed into a Broadway theater to listen to whatever his musical production would be. I am telling you, he would take it 100%. He despises these people. His entire life revolves around wanting to earn the respect of liberal intelligentsia, never getting it because he's too crude, he's too rash, and constantly fighting against them. And constantly having this like resentment towards them. Well, you are so. This is the man. Yeah, I'm the one, and you are the brilliant one. Because what are you gonna tell me? You're gonna tell me that Donald Trump is actually running for president to save America, right? That's why, because he cares about you, right? Not you. My bad, lol. Oh, okay. I thought you were. God damn it! I got excited. I thought you were a hog. Oh, you offered that son of a Tony. He drops out today. It's not just a Tony. He needs recognition, but he also needs like a place where he can let out all of his frustrations. Just wait until you hear Chapo Trap House's recent episode on January 6 prisoners and their nightly cabarets in the jailhouse. Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, turn it up louder, he said about
My all-time favorite chart. And let's listen to Pavarotti sing Ave Maria. Can you hear that? They gave me the Ave Maria with no voice. There it is. That's my favorite piece of paper anywhere in the world. I sleep with it every night. I kiss it. I kiss it. And you see those numbers, by the way, for those that we talked about.
Why are you trying to convince me to vote for Trump, Lamau? Wait, what? Why? Because I said he's gay? That's it? That's all? I'm a single issue voter. Whoever queens out harder, I will vote for them. Is that what it is? That's what you care about?
You know, the border, when you're talking about the border, look at the numbers. That was the lowest it ever was right there. That was the last day I was in office. And we're going to get it lower than that. But we're going to let people come in. We're going to let people come in. So very, very important. But there's one of my most favorite. If I didn't turn to the right, I wouldn't be here with you right now. Right. So it's a sort of a cruel world. But I was very proud of that before the fact. Now, even if it had lousy numbers, I would love that piece of paper a lot. So put on Pavarotti singing Ave Maria. Nice and loud. Turn it.
I could have had a career in opera, let me tell you. If I wasn't doing the political commentary, I could be a star in opera. Hey, HasanAbi, you were more or less in tune. Okay, you have to remember something. I have no like professional musical training, no training whatsoever since 3rd grade when I stopped the choir, when my parents wouldn't let me go to China. Okay. And I don't know why it happened to be that way. It wasn't like I was super pro China back then for any particular reason. They just would not let me go to China with the choir. And I thought that was lame. I cried. And yeah, I stopped the choir after that. I think like our school choir went to China. It was like some global initiative. I don't know. Anyway, some good news from Colombia. Layla says the Columbia business professor who has targeted me for months, retweeted inappropriate comments about my body, and claimed it was part of Hamas as we evacuated my family from Gaza, where Palestinian Christians, is now banned from Columbia campus for harassment. Oh my God. Shy David, turn it up. My favorite song.
Ave Maria. Nice and loud. Turn it up loud.
This one is for Shy David.
Louder. We want a little action here. Turn it up louder.
Shy David. Which city did they tell you to go to? I don't remember, dude. I can't believe he just danced around this much. I'm sorry about yesterday. It was a mistake. Asmongold banned. Oh, let's see.